Well, hello and welcome to our front yard garden in the South Carolina upstate. It is Good Friday, April 18th, 2025. This is our 10th episode of the spring. And if ever there was a week that could be classified as a peak week, I think this is the one. We have just some phenomenal color and blooming roses and clematis and other things. So we're going to get right to it. It is a beautiful Friday. It's going to be about 80 degrees today. Right now, probably 75, and hardly a cloud in the sky. It's going to be just a great day for, well, it's Good Friday for a lot of reasons, and gardening is one of them. So let's get started here in our mailbox bed. We're going to start with our clematis. We usually start with that this time of year. Now, we've been kind of on a saga here for a while. This clematis has been here for about 5 years, and normally at this time of year it is open. It's a Giacomini, so it's usually got a lot of bright purple flowers all over it. We had a problem with parasites. I think it was aphids or something along the lines of aphids earlier. Excuse me. We've had a lot of allergy issues this spring. I'm not alone. A lot of pollen in the air all over this area. So this plant normally is covered with new leaves and flowers, kind of like this. But a lot of these that came up earlier, when they got covered with the aphids, they just kind of curled up. They didn't look too good. We have a few small buds, but nothing open so far. But in the areas that are newer, they look pretty healthy. So hopefully, even if it's delayed, we will still get some nice purple flowers before too long. I did spray this with 7 really good parasite killer. This side is completely, I won't say dead, but it's not giving us any growth at all. Now, it's just sort of fortuitous that I came over to this side. You see one of our little friends crawling around down in there, or one of our lizard friends, a little green lizard. We see these all over the area, and I'm a big fan of them because they eat spiders, and I am not a fan of spiders. So there he goes, looking for lunch. All right, so we're going to move on here. We have another clematis. Now, we had one in this area. It died very abruptly. I don't know if it got some weed killer on it or what exactly, but we went out and bought this one at a box store. I think it was Lowe's Home Improvement. Nice, beautiful dark pink color. So it just was put in this week. Hopefully it'll kind of take over where the other one was going. The other one wasn't growing that much. It did have some flowers, but it wasn't really thriving. So hopefully this one will, and it'll kind of get up onto the mailbox and kind of take the place of some of these others. Now, I've talked about this little tiny rose. This is a crazy thing. You can see the entire plant is right there, those leaves, and they're covered with black spot. And despite that, it has this absolutely beautiful, very fragrant lavender rose on it. That's kind of what this thing does every year. It's gotten progressively smaller and smaller. And this might be its last year, but it still puts out these beautiful flowers. It's really a remarkable little plant. Got some lilies over here. They'll be blooming probably next month. Then we have a nice snapdragon here. We did not plant this. It just kind of came up randomly with seeds blown around in the wind. And then we have some phlox over in here, certainly some irises. One that's getting ready to bloom probably in another week or two. So you can also see that we got our mulching done this week. This bed looks a lot better. It was kind of choked with weeds and other things, but they did a nice job on the mulch, and you'll see more of that as we continue to look around our yard. Now, we come up here in our little triangle bed. This finally looks pretty good. It's mulched, got most of the weeds out of it. We've still got some creeping phlox hanging in there. These peaked a few weeks ago, but still getting a lot of nice little tiny purple flowers or lavender flowers. And then over here, a variation of dianthus. I couldn't come up with the name last week. We certainly have a red dianthus that we're going to see shortly, but this is the only area where we have these lavender ones, and they're doing really well. But they only come up in the spring, or I should say they only bloom in the spring, whereas the others will bloom off and on all year. Over here, this is our petite knockout rose. This has done pretty well for the 3 or 4 years that we've had it here. Last year, maybe a little bit of an exception. It wasn't covered with flowers, but right now it is. It's just looking absolutely wonderful, very healthy, no aphids. Really happy with that. Likes being in the direct sun, I will say that. We have a couple in the back that have not done as well. They're to some extent in partial sun to shade. Here we have more dianthus fully in bloom. These are the dark pink ones. Some more of those over here. And we got lilies coming up and various other ground cover. Our one big climbing rose over here. We finally got this anchored this week. Just a simple little thing screwed into the concrete, and hopefully this won't fall over anymore, and it'll give this nice rose a chance to really do well. But we finally got our first big bloom off of that this week, and I've got a couple of irises down here that are kind of struggling. They want to open up, but they're kind of stuck where they are. But coming on over, we have these clematis really peaking this week. Huge things, about 5 inches across each flower. Primarily white with some just faint lavender coloring on them, highlights. And they are growing up on some more of these trellises with climbing roses on them. The climbing roses have been a little bit of a disappointment. They haven't done a lot, but we do have one really nice rose right now. And we'll get a few more. We have one that's yellow, a couple more that are red in here. They tend to struggle with black spot, but we'll get a few flowers off of them. And if nothing else, at least they provide a background or a scaffolding for the clematis, which are really just spectacular. A couple more irises over in here. Then our hydrangeas are continuing to develop. It'll still be probably a few more weeks before they do anything. We're starting to get our first little flower buds, but they'll have to develop quite a bit more before they open up, and that'll be in May or June. Then over here, looks like somebody knocked our little Mrs. Easter Bunny over. And then our one of our lemons is doing really well. You can see flowers here, very fragrant. Some more over here. These probably won't end up doing anything, unfortunately. We've not had a real good experience with these, but we'll continue to give them a try. Now this one, actually these two at the bottom, we had these on the back porch. I'm moving around here so they get a little more sun. I am seeing a few buds here, so maybe if they cross-pollinate with these, maybe we'll actually get some lemons for once. This one, struggling. Not sure what it's going to do. I'm just keeping it watered and just see what happens. Then over here, picking up little branches as we go. These are finishing up. These were our little variation of lilies of the valley. Pretty little lavender-colored flowers. And this is probably the last week that they'll bloom. We have some ajuga still hanging in there, but this is probably their last week as well. These are all mid-spring flowers. You know, if you watch our videos from week to week, we start in February, and at that point all we have are usually daffodils, maybe some hyacinths if we're lucky, and then we just slowly work our way from one section of the year to another. And right now we're kind of at a transition into mid-late spring, and we're going to be seeing some more evidence of that before too long. One of the things that we see here is a viburnum, wide open. These peaked last week, and we're starting to see a little bit of brown on them, meaning that they're starting to fade. That's usually the case by the end of April. Didn't get anywhere near as many flowers this year as usual. I'm guessing it was because of the cold winter, but I really don't know. And over here we have some more snapdragons. I put these in about 3 or 4 years ago, and actually I put quite a few in across the front of this bed. These are the only ones that have come back to any extent, and they're doing really well. So primarily the pink ones, we have a few that are yellow as well, not doing quite as well, but these have been really a pretty good success for us. And then just in the past day, we're seeing our little Dutch irises opening up, these smaller ones. Nice blue color, beautiful little things. We usually don't get a lot of flowers out of these, and this might be the best that we get. We have a few more buds that I can see, but I don't think that they're going to be overwhelming. It's just kind of a nice little touch that you get along with everything else. The bearded iris that we have been far more prevalent, and they put out quite a few more flowers. And over in here we have our azaleas. We have some more viburnum, not doing a whole lot over here. As I say, we have a few of these flower pods, but they haven't really done as much as I would have hoped. We have probably as many of these flowers on the one viburnum in our backyard as we do on all of them in the front yard. And we'll see that in our second video looking at our backyard. More of these azaleas. Some of our neighbors have had just phenomenal numbers of flowers. It's been a very colorful spring, I have to say, just all through this area. More of these azaleas, primarily the light pink ones here in the backyard. It's primarily dark pink, as we'll see later. Some more of the bearded iris here, looking absolutely beautiful. And then probably the best thing in this bed is our big cluster of 5 knockout roses. I put these in about 4 years ago, and I think they've gotten about as big as they're going to get, but they are really blooming beautifully, better than last year. We had flowers, but not as many, I don't think. And I even now I don't see any black spot on these, so this is probably their peak week. They'll still look good for another couple of weeks and then start to fade out, but this is just kind of an overwhelming swath of color, and I just love this time of year. It's absolutely a favorite for me. And it's nice that we have it in mid-April. When we lived in Ohio, we didn't get to this point until around Memorial Day, sometimes even early June. And here it's a lot earlier. We have such a longer growing season by about 3 months. Over here, our butterfly bush, this will start to flower next month, I think. It has done very well. I cut it back dramatically from the huge plant that was about 5 times this size, and it looks to be doing very well. Kind of nice, here we have one remaining white bearded iris. Most of the white ones that we have in our yard are pretty early bloomers. They usually come out in late March. We have a number over by the garage that are finished, long since finished, but that one is back, which is really nice to see. Got some more dianthus here. We've got some nice purple phlox here, still doing very well. Hopefully they'll stay out for a while. We are now completely done with our grape hyacinths. They've all gone to seed. Not really much to see there. And then candy tuft, these little white flowers here, they're just about done. We have a few that are still in bloom, but this is probably their last week. then we have a little pink flower. I don't know what this is. We bought this at one of the stores last year, but I don't, or maybe 2 years ago, but I don't honestly know the name of it. We have some more irises, a lot of monarda, these light green plants here. These will put red flowers out in another month or two, also known as bee balm. They just grow from seed, but they come back every year. They've done very, very well for us. We've got some dahlias here. We've got a lot of Asiatic and Stargazer lilies down through here. And then of course our big knockout roses. And when we step back, they're every bit as impressive as the ones that are out by the street. They're all in bloom. We've got the medium pink, the bright red, and then sort of the orangish pink, or I call it melon color. Just 3 beautiful plants that have done very well here in the front yard. Some more dianthus here. These are all daylilies that'll come up. Right, they've already come up, but the flowers will come up and come out later this summer. We've got some gladiolas here. Jenny, my wife, put the bulbs in our first episode back in February. It's hard to believe that was just 2 months ago. And more monarda through here, along with some lilies that have just been put in. We do need to do some work with our trellises. They're kind of falling over, and we need to tie up some of these roses that are trying to take over the entire bed. We love our roses, but we don't want them to take over everything. So that is about it for our front yard. As I say, lots to see. There's even more to see in the backyard, so we're going to go back there next. But as I say, this is just a wonderful time of year, and lots and lots to see, lots of color, and it's just really fun walking around the yard and looking at all this. And especially once the weeds have been taken out, the spring cleanup's been done, and the mulch is in place. It just looks so much nicer. So hope it's sunny wherever you are, and happy gardening, and we're going to go to the backyard next.